Hey guys, I'm Syama, CEO of Scaling Retail, and today we're going to talk about how to 5x the return on investment for your first fashion pop-up shop. Now we all know fashion retail is really taking storm by having these pop-up shops, and you might be wondering to yourself, how on earth do I execute one, and really, how do I make a return on investment, let alone a 5x return on investment? So we're going to walk through a couple different strategies to help you do so. Number one, we're going to talk about how to plan your budget. Number two, we're going to talk about how to know the different ROIs you should be tracking. Number three, how to price to sell. What exactly are people looking for within your pop-ups? Number four, how to go for organic high traffic. And then number five, we'll kind of unpack the customer sales process and really how to do that aftercare sales to really boost and get better returns on investment. Number one, guys, we've got to talk about the budget. When it comes to setting up a budget, you need to be able to prioritize so that you know exactly what it is you're going to be investing in. Now guys, you've got to set up your budget. When it comes to setting up the budget, this is what allows you to figure out exactly what it is you're going to be spending, both in time and in money. If you have access to a space for free, obviously this helps the budget. If you are going in with someone else on a pop-up shop, making it co-branded or even multi-brand, that is also going to help you with your budget. But the very first step to getting an ROI is knowing how much money you are expensing. Let's say, for example, your whole pop-up shop cost you $100 and you made $500, right? That's an easy 5 times ROI on the investment. But without really outlining what the investment is and the budget, you're not going to be able to know how much money you actually need to be making to be able to get that 5 times ROI. So my suggestion is make a budget. Start to figure out what different areas that you can get comped for free. Maybe it's the space, maybe you're going in with someone on shopping bags because they're just brown paper bags. Think about the different ways in which you can use shared resources and free resources to be able to make the pop-up costs for you as low as possible while still driving and giving a lot of value to that customer who's walking in through your doors. The next step is to start to understand what those ROIs really mean. Now, I'm a huge fan of starting to think about ROIs from 3 different factors. We have your brand awareness factor, we also have your sales factor, and then we have your social media factor. Now, going into a pop-up shop, you want to make sure that you're actually building a platform that can maximize for brand awareness, sales, and social viability. Now, when it comes to brand awareness, a lot of this has to do in how you're advertising your pop-up from the get-go. What are the different ways in which you're starting to get people to see your brand? A pop-up shop is not just an event in and of itself, but it's actually all the marketing activities that lead to the pop-up shop. Maybe you're doing some YouTube Live, maybe you're getting on Instagram, maybe you're doing some advertising and some special marketing in order to get the word out. So brand awareness comes into the days leading up to the event, and then also in your forecasting of how you're going to be projecting the day. Maybe you're going to tell people, hey, we're looking forward to a really great day in store. We have all these special guests or people arriving. We're going to be releasing new products, really creating a lot of hype in the days coming up. And then also in how you broadcast after the fact. What was the pop-up shop like? Where were the people coming from? Did you get any interviews, any photographs? Make sure you're looking at this from an entire 360-degree capacity to be able to really get the messaging. Again, it's not just getting people there on the day of, it is all the noise that you make before, at the event, and then after. Now the second thing is sales. Obviously, guys, we know we want to make as many sales as possible. Please do have a sales number in mind that you want to hit. This will help you when it comes to getting product in people's hands. It'll help you when you're merchandising the store because you're then going to be looking at your price points, and we'll get into that next, in relation to those sales goals. You've got to have sales goals, and then we have to think about price points in relation to those sales goals. All right, guys, the last thing, it really has to do with building your social proof when it comes to this pop-up event. This means having things around the store that say #mybusiness. So if I had a pop-up, I'd have signage that said tag yourself, tag Scaling Retail, #Scaling Retail pop-up. And when you do so, you'll be entered in to win this contest. If you tag 3 friends, we'll enter you to get this, discount, etc. So think about building all of your online presence, including especially your Instagram platform, when you actually have this pop-up event. If someone wants to get a discount at the point of checkout, make sure that they sign up and show that they're following the brand. Maybe that's a great way in order to get more people to become followers the day of the event. This is fantastic, right? But make sure once you do get these new followers that you're following up with great content, right? What's the point of getting people's email addresses, getting them to follow you on Instagram, if you're actually not going to take the time to convert them, meaning regular newsletters, regular posting, and doing things that really elicit more engagement, right? You want people to be able to engage with you and purchase and get a better sense of what your brand is. Next, make sure you price your product for the event. A lot of times people think that they can just take their regular full price merchandise and pop it into a pop-up shop that's actually going to be, let's say, driven towards people who are looking for more of a bargain. Now, pop-up shops are different than sample sales, right? Sample sales implicitly imply that you are going to be selling product at a discount. You can certainly have a sample sale, have the sale merchandise, and then offer a selection of new merchandise at a discounted rate. That totally works. However, you don't want to have a sample sale, but really it's all full price merchandise, right? That doesn't work. Your customers are going to show up, they're not going to buy anything, and they'll be really frustrated. Now, if it's just a regular pop-up, you can really choose to curate the merchandise however you like. We have an amazing blog post all about how to price your product and all about how to get better into inventory planning and management. And I think that's going to be an amazing tool for you to understand what kind of inventory you need. So make sure you head over to our blog for that one. But it's very important, guys, that you start to understand the nature of price points. If it is a regular pop-up, make sure that you have easy products that can be purchased right away, especially if your average unit retail is somewhere in the 1200s, right? Or over 1,000 or over 5,000. Right? You want to make sure that you're showcasing every different level. And a great example of that was I recently visited the pop-up shop over at Caesar's Palace in Vegas, where the RealReal had a pop-up shop. Now, what was amazing about that? Well, they could have chosen any amount of product that they wanted to show, and the merchandising would have really needed to reflect that. So what did they do? All the Birkin bags, all the really expensive bags, they had in the back, right? So you had to walk through the store in order to get to these very high price pointed brands. They had a lot of tables in front that had some easier to consume price points, right? Not the $20,000 bag, but the $100 item, right? The $200 item. And the way they merchandise really made you want to walk through the entire store to be able to get a cohesive experience by how they did their merchandising through colorways and not through price points, right? But obviously the most expensive products were either in a glass case or they were in the bag. Really smart strategy for them. So think about how your pricing will then impact your merchandising on that day of the pop-up. Opt for places that are going to have great organic traffic for foot traffic. You definitely don't want to be going onto sites like PureSpace or Liquid Space or Breather and getting a spot that's going to be, I don't know, on the 20th floor of a building. I don't think a lot of people are going to be able to walk past there and go inside and shop. So look for areas that have really high organic foot traffic. Super important. Maybe spend the weekend camping out, have brunch in the neighborhood, see who's walking around the neighborhood, see who cares, see who's actually stopping and walking into the stores. You want to make sure that your marketing is going to be really backed up by having great organic foot traffic if you're really focused on getting that 5x ROI. Now lastly, aftercare sales are super important. Like I mentioned, you don't just want to get someone to follow you or get their newsletter and not follow up with great content. Similarly, you don't want someone who's going to just purchase a product from you and never hear from you again. Everyone who purchases from you from that particular event should go on a special email list, and that should be a VIP pop-up email list. That should be your list that you go to when you're thinking about doing other kinds of in-person events. Maybe it's not a pop-up, maybe it's a trunk show next time, maybe it's a sample sale, but these are the people who really turned up for you. So you might want to give them an extra discount or let them shop early the next time you have an event, because these are the people who are getting in their car in LA, driving the 20 to 45 minutes to get there, spending the time and purchasing. These are really your brand loyalists, either new loyalists or loyalists from before. So treat them with a lot of care and respect and make sure that you put them through a different marketing funnel. All right, guys, get more on this topic in our blog post about 3 fashion pop-up shops that did it right. Trust me, you'll want to see some great examples, and we've got some great examples for you. Link is down below. And make sure you guys download your checklist for creating the most optimal fashion pop-up shop. Super important. You don't want to do a pop-up shop without this, I guarantee it. And always make sure you subscribe, leave a comment below, and always shoot us an email to say hi at hello@scalingretail.com. Thanks, guys. Bye.